common car 1 million kilometers traveled and it's still alive? It seems like an exaggeration, almost a myth, but it's not. What made it possible wasn't a miraculous engine or indestructible parts, but 20 very specific habits. Habits that anyone can apply to their vehicle, and one that becomes practically immortal. And pay attention, because the last 3 habits on this list are the most surprising and revealing.
20. The 20th habit seems insignificant to many, but it's a silent guardian of longevity, always parking in the shade or in a protected place. It may sound trivial, but think about this. The sun relentlessly punishes every surface of the car. The paint, plastics, rubber, dashboard, and even the internal fluids. A car that is parked in direct sun suffers from premature aging, not just aesthetically, but mechanically. By keeping your car in the shade, in a garage, or even using a protective cover, you drastically reduce this silent deterioration.
19. We move on to habit number 19, checking the battery and electrical connections every 6 months. Most drivers only think about the battery when the car won't start, but by then it's usually too late. A weak battery or one with sulfated terminals forces the starter motor to work harder, wears out components, and can even cause voltage spikes that damage electronic modules. Checking the terminals, cleaning them with baking soda and water, making sure they are secure, and measuring the battery voltage twice a year can save you from everything from small electrical failures to the frustration of being stranded. It's not about waiting for it to fail, but preventing it from failing.
18. In 18th place, we find another habit that many overlook, always using original spare parts, never cheap imitations. We're not talking about luxury or a whim here, we're talking about compatibility and durability. A generic oil filter, for example, may not have the same particle retention capacity as an original one, and over time can let impurities through that wear out the engine. The same goes for brake pads, belts, or spark plugs. An original part may cost a little more, but its quality is proven for your car model. A cheap part, on the other hand, can lead to a premature failure that ends up multiplying your costs. This habit isn't felt in the short term, but it's an invisible investment in the vehicle's lifespan.
17. Habit number 17 is one of those that old mechanics always recommended, letting the engine idle for 30 seconds before driving. Modern engines are designed to start and move almost immediately, but that doesn't mean it's ideal for their longevity. When you start the car, the oil is cold and takes a few seconds to circulate completely. If you accelerate immediately, the metal parts work with insufficient lubrication, and that friction, even if slight, accumulates over the years. Waiting half a minute to let the oil reach every corner is a short routine that extends the engine's life. And the funny thing is that many consider it a waste of time, when in reality, it's one of the simplest secrets to durability.
16. In 16th place, we have an extension of the previous idea, avoiding hard acceleration when the engine is cold during the first few kilometers. Even after starting, the engine and transmission need to reach their optimal operating temperature. Metals expand, fluids stabilize, and sensors begin to read accurately. If you push the car with sudden acceleration during this period, you're forcing components under unfavorable conditions. Driving gently for the first few minutes is like allowing the car to stretch before running a marathon. This habit protects cylinders, pistons, the transmission, and even the catalytic converter. It may seem like a minor detail, but it makes a difference over hundreds of thousands of kilometers.
15. Habit number 15 is almost a classic on any maintenance list, but here it has a special twist: changing the oil and filter before the manufacturer's recommended interval. Many brands, for marketing reasons, have extended oil change intervals to make it seem like their cars require less maintenance. However, experts agree that shortening those intervals protects the engine. If the manual says 15,000 kilometers, doing it at 10,000 is an insurance policy for the engine. Oil is the car's blood, and keeping it clean prevents premature wear, sludge, and harmful buildup.
14. We come to habit number 14, using high-quality oil with protective additives. Not all oils are the same, even if they meet the minimum specifications. A premium oil can contain additives that reduce friction, protect against wear, and keep the engine clean for longer.
This doesn't necessarily mean using the most expensive one, but choosing recognized brands and verifying that they have approved certifications. Some drivers even add specific additives to improve lubrication or internal cleaning, always with good judgment and without overdoing it. The truth is that quality oil is one of the firmest barriers against engine aging. The best part is that we're just at the beginning. What's coming next gets into a deeper territory where each habit not only prolongs the lifespan, but also improves performance and safety.
13. We're getting right into habit number 13, changing the coolant every 2 years without waiting for leaks or overheating to appear. Many drivers think that coolant lasts forever and only replace it when the level drops. But that fluid degrades over time, loses its anti-corrosive properties, and stops protecting the cooling system. After years, radiators, hoses, and water pumps fill with rust and deposits that end up blocking the flow of the liquid. The engine starts to work at higher temperatures, which shortens its lifespan. Regularly replacing the coolant keeps the engine cool, prevents invisible internal damage.
12. Habit number 12 is checking and cleaning the air filter every 10,000 kilometers. It may seem like a simple detail, but that filter is responsible for ensuring the engine breathes clean air. An obstructed filter forces the engine to work harder, consumes more fuel, and wears out internal parts because it can't achieve the proper mixture. It's best to check it visually. If it's full of dust or particles, simply clean it with compressed air, or if it's already saturated, replace it.
11. In 11th place, we find a habit that many ignore until it's too late: changing spark plugs and wires before they fail. These small components are responsible for igniting the spark in each explosion inside the engine. When they wear out, the engine loses power, fuel consumption increases, and the check engine light may even come on. The ideal is to replace them before they get to that point, following shorter intervals than what the manual specifies if the car's use is intense. By doing so, you guarantee a clean, efficient, and stress-free combustion for the engine. Before continuing with the next habits, stop for a second and think about this. If a car managed to exceed 1,000,000 kilometers, it's because there was consistency and discipline in each of these care routines. And if you really want your car to go that far, now is the perfect time to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. It's not an empty phrase, believe me. What's coming now are practical secrets that don't appear in any manual and that will make all the difference.
Number 10. We move on to habit number 10, cleaning the throttle body every 40,000 kilometers. Over time, the air-fuel mixture leaves carbon residues in the intake system. This causes an unstable idle, lack of power, and higher consumption. A simple cleaning with appropriate products restores the engine's original response and keeps it running smoothly. This habit is almost never mentioned in basic maintenance. 9. The 9th spot is dedicated to a detail that may seem minimal, but has a gigantic impact: maintaining the exact tire pressure as indicated in the manual. A tire with low pressure increases friction with the asphalt, which raises fuel consumption and accelerates wear. It can also cause the car to feel unstable on the road and put more stress on the steering than necessary. Conversely, a tire with too much pressure reduces the contact patch, shortens its lifespan, and compromises safety during braking. Checking the pressure at least once a month is a simple habit. 8. For habit number 8, we have something that perfectly complements the previous one: rotating the tires every 10,000 kilometers. Due to the weight of the engine and the characteristics of the traction, the front and rear tires do not wear down in the same way. Rotating them ensures even wear, extends their lifespan, and improves the car's stability. Those who ignore this habit end up changing tires prematurely and often unevenly, which causes vibrations and greater stress on the suspension and steering systems. Rotating them, although it may seem tedious, is an insurance policy for the entire vehicle's balance. And the best part is that the most important things are still to come, because if these habits already seem valuable, the next ones are in the final stretch of the top, where you'll discover practices that not only extend the lifespan, but directly redefine the way a car faces the passage of time.
7. Habit number 7 focuses on something that many overlook because they think all fuel is the same, but it's not. Using only high-quality gasoline or diesel with low ethanol content and controlled additives makes a crucial difference in engine longevity. Cheap or adulterated fuels create deposits in injectors, spark plugs, and valves, decrease combustion efficiency, and can reduce lubrication on the cylinder walls. Over hundreds of thousands of kilometers, these impurities accumulate and end up accelerating wear. By always opting for reliable service stations and avoiding filling up in dubious places, the engine breathes better and works under cleaner conditions.
Habit number 6 has to do with how you drive. Driving smoothly, avoiding unnecessary braking, sudden acceleration, and aggressive turns is not only safer, but also healthier for the entire car. A vehicle's mechanics are designed to function progressively, not to be constantly forced. When you drive aggressively, you increase friction, heat, and stress on components that could last twice as long if treated calmly. Braking in advance instead of slamming a pedal at the last minute, accelerating progressively instead of flooring the gas, and letting the transmission shift at its own pace instead of forcing it are habits that make every part last longer. Someone might think they are losing time.
5. We move on to habit number 5, which focuses on a vital but forgotten fluid, brake fluid. Many people believe that as long as the pedal works, everything is fine. However, this fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture from the environment over time. That moisture reduces its boiling point and compromises its ability to brake in extreme conditions, in addition to rusting the internal parts of the braking system. Changing the fluid every 2 years not only guarantees safer braking, but also prolongs the life of the calipers, cylinders, and pumps. It's a habit that very few people follow, but it is directly related to safety and avoiding costly repairs that arise when the system begins to deteriorate silently.
4. Habit number 4 is checking the exhaust system every year. Few people pay attention to it because they see it as a tube that simply expels gases, but in reality, it is a critical part of the engine's function. A faulty exhaust alters back pressure, which directly affects combustion and performance. Furthermore, leaks in the exhaust can allow harmful gases to enter the cabin, putting occupants at risk. Regularly checking the condition of the muffler, catalytic converter, and pipes not only improves efficiency and reduces noise, but also prevents damage to costly sensors like the oxygen sensors. A healthy exhaust is like a clean respiratory system for the car.
3. We come to habit number 3, and here we enter critical territory, changing the transmission fluid before 60,000 kilometers. The transmission, whether manual or automatic, is one of the most expensive parts to repair or replace. And yet, many manufacturer manuals suggest that transmission fluid lasts a lifetime. The truth is that no fluid lasts forever. The oil loses its lubricating properties, becomes contaminated with wear particles, and stops protecting the gears and internal components. Changing it at reasonable intervals, long before it fails, can be the difference between a transmission that lasts 100,000 kilometers and one that exceeds 1,000,000.
Habit number 2 is a bit more aesthetic in appearance, but is actually deeply functional. Steam cleaning the engine every 6 months. The dust, grease, and oil that accumulate in the engine bay not only look bad, but also act as insulators that raise the temperature, affect sensors, and deteriorate cables. Additionally, that dirt can hide small leaks that, if detected in time, would save costly repairs. A careful steam cleaning eliminates all that buildup and allows the engine to work at the correct temperature without excess trapped heat. It's not a whim, but a preventative measure that keeps the car's heart in optimal condition. Those who have adopted this habit agree that it's like a double inspection.
And we come to number 1, the most important habit of all, the one that differentiates immortal cars from those that end up in the scrapyard prematurely: listening to the engine every day and detecting strange sounds instantly. It may sound too simple, but the key is consistency. Every car has its own language, a symphony of sounds that are normal and that are repeated with every start, every acceleration, every braking. When something changes, when a new metallic noise appears, a tapping sound when accelerating, a humming when turning, that is the first warning sign that something is not right. Ignoring it allows the problem to grow until it becomes serious. Detecting and addressing it in time means solving it quickly and cheaply. This habit doesn't require money or sophisticated tools. It just requires attention and habit. But it is, without a doubt, the most decisive one for extending a car's life to figures that seem impossible. Imagine the difference between a driver who follows these tips to the letter and another who ignores most of them. One ends up selling their car with 200,000 kilometers and with accumulated problems, while the other keeps theirs running like new after 1,000,000 kilometers. The difference is not in the car's brand or model, but in how it is cared for every day. And so we've reached the end of this journey through the habits that made a car immortal, and that can also give your vehicle a surprisingly long life. Now tell me, which of these 20 habits were you already applying? And which one surprised you the most? Leave your answer in the comments because I want to read your experiences and learn from you too. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share this video. It's the best way to keep this community of drivers alive. Drivers who want their cars to last much longer than anyone can imagine. Yeah,